Robo or something like that. And I think his plan was to get that early Stargate or Robo. Having said that though, he's just chronoing a Zealot to kind of make me look like a fool.
Well, that's really lucky for him here. If he can get
Yeah.
at least one zealot out, it's going to be something here. As he's about to find out what's happening to him, as this blue zealot marches on in, Acadian now knows what's up, and that cyber core is done, so he can get started on a mothership core. He's going with the probe first, though, which I think is a little bit of a mistake here, delaying that just a little bit longer. But that first zealot's going to go down, but it's going to be followed up by two more here.
Mm.
This is going to be rough.
Well, this mothership core's almost done though, so I think he's actually going to be okay. Like he's still got a good 4 drone lead. If he can, he's got 2 pylons next to his gateway, so he can't even.
That's
Aruthor can't even unpower the gateway easily.
that's really
I
true.
think,
This mothership core is going to be really key here.
yeah, good micro pulling back the hurt zealot, which was nice. But another zealot out. I really think Arcadian's in a good spot here.
Yeah, that mothership core really helping out here, and it looks like Aruthor is continuing with the zealot pressure here. He's got 2 more being made and chronoed out right now, so he's going to keep giving himself a bit of an edge with these zealots, but with this mothership core here, they're not going to be able to do too much damage. Now, getting a couple probes here is nice, and if we look at the worker count here, Acadian actually still has a lead in that aspect, so...
Yeah.
Like
Eventually,
said,
there's going to be photon overcharge, and there's going to be stalkers.
Mhm.
I really think this is like assuming Arcadian plays well out of this. I think he's going to be completely fine.
Still losing some probes here and there, though, actually evening up the worker count. But the difference is we got 3 gateways on the way here. He doesn't have warp gate yet, does he? No, so none of that
It hasn't started off
stuff.
yet.
No,
He's
and
kind of lost his probes on gas and hasn't replaced them yet.
so we might not
He
even
needs
see
to get
too many stock.
stalkers. Like if he gets stalkers, kind of it's just over because stalkers can kite zealots for literal ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Aerothor still hasn't even made an extra probe at home. He's just going ham on these zealots, and he's getting quite a few of them out here. I think as good a position as Acadian is in, this is still quite a lot of zealots. And like you said, without going back into the gas, there's going to be no stalkers to really help defend against this. So, oh, it's going to be weird.
Mm. It's just yeah, I
This
think
one zealot.
it's intense. Like I wish he just got back into gas because if he gets back into he got photon overcharge now, which is really nice. If he gets back into gas,
Yeah.
he can't. It's just kind of over. Like he just gets stalkers, he gets warp gate. He's got 4 gates, and he just goes across the map and kills Aruthor after killing these gates in his natural. But he has more zealots now, which is kind of, and he's building probes again. So
Yeah, there we go. Oh, and there's a GG out of Aerothor. That's
well
I'm
held.
Yeah, it was really really close, really intense, and I think it could have been responded to a little bit better, but it was just enough getting that mothership core out to push off the rest of those zealots, and then it was still pretty intense after that, but that mothership core was just so much help that it really didn't
Elijah
matter.
Core was the hero in that game for sure. He was very lucky. He kind of blind counted that kind of perfectly because if he had even gone that late to 13 gate, the zealots might have
Yeah,
got enough damage done at that first push.
for sure. I know the ten gate opening is something Acadian really likes to do, and it has a lot of different options. Getting out that faster Stargate, faster Robo, or even just into a faster 3 gate pressure, which is really good also. So. It has a lot of options, and it keeps you in the game to defend against anything like that. So that's how you hold a proxy 2 gate zealot rush without even scouting it, I suppose.
Yeah, it's kind of perfectly done.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. So I think we're going to be going into our second game here in our third game in just a
Okay.
moment. We have All Inspiration already kicking off a 2-0 lead, so looking pretty good so far. But it's still early here, and we're going to be going into another ZVT between TB Ham and Star-Tailed Bob.
Admin extraordinaire, TB Ham, versus the captain of Confederation. Pumped for this game, actually.
Yeah,
Really
on
pumped for it.
Daybreak.
TB Ham's Zerg is pretty good. Like, he plays
He's
random
a
normally.
Yeah, he does, but I think during the playoffs here, he's been picking his race because
Yeah.
that way he can just more specifically train, an opening. Yeah, so uh, so actually, I just found out he went random last week. So I thought he
Yeah.
actually picked Terran last week, but
He played
no,
random against Shinobu from
mhm,
CT6 in TVT
yeah,
game. And
in one of the way better TVT games that I've seen in a long time, especially coming out of TB Ham. That opening was really, really good that he pulled off. So we'll see if he has the the same type of perfection in this game, as I might as well introduce him in the bottom left corner of Daybreak, spawning for Team All Inspiration, the red Zerg player, TB Ham.
And in the top right-hand side of Daybreak, the captain from Confederation, the Terran player, Star-tailed Bob. I always get the picture of like this weird ass dude like sitting behind the computer screen with a massive afro trying to kill Bart Simpson every time he plays.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
All right, so another ZVT here. Before we saw a sort of mech Terran going up against a Roach Baneling all-in that failed, but then transitioned into a really cool Swarmhost Broodlord endgame type of composition that was just too much to handle. So we'll see what type of differences we get in this game as the game gets going here. No gas.
I know TB Ham likes to go roaches. He doesn't really like to play Ling Baneling as a Zerg player, from what I've been speaking to him. Starto Bob, pretty good turn player. He's playing in the league that I'm running at the moment, and he's on top of his group in a mostly TVT group. But he took games off Gulahine, who's a very strong TVT player. So whether or not what that means for his TVC, I don't know. But he is a very capable Terran player who to go up against TB Ham, which is probably two of the better platinum players running around in the CTL as far as skill goes. Right in the top echelon of platinum, could be diamond kind of area.
When Season 3 and Dreampool came into play, a lot of people got demoted, and most people were able to jump right back up, but some of them still stuck in the lower leagues here, and I think TB Ham is one of those guys. Yeah,
me as well. I was in Diamond, and I'm stuck in Platinum as well. I broke my hand as well, so I kind of really wasn't able to play too much.
So I think one of the games that's the absolute hardest to play with one hand would be StarCraft 2 for sure.
Yeah.
So
at the moment, I'm observing this game with my left hand, and that's it. So it's kind of weird.
Oh, I don't even know if I could do that. That's props to you for putting up with it and at least coming and joining us tonight to cast the finals, because I couldn't observe a game with one hand. My left hand, I mean.
Yeah. But Reaper out of Startup. Sorry.
Yeah, no, Reaper really standard here in most matchups when Terran is involved, just to get that quick and easy scout. But we had a really quick gas here out of TB Ham, and it looks like he's banking up quite a bit of minerals, getting those 2 queens here, 4 lings, and he's at 100 gas now, so I'm betting he's going to put that into a quick Zergling speed here.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if it's a quick layer. I don't really think that's kind of his style. I'd imagine he's just going to get quick ling speed for safety once he can afford it with the minerals.
Reaper trying to get some harassment done, but those lings are out, and they're going to try to be annoying to that Reaper. Nice save on that drone by TB Ham, getting them into the gas geyser here, and I think that's about all we're going to see out of this Reaper, because the queens are just about to pop here. Is he going to let that gas finish?
I hope not. He doesn't need it. So there we go.
There we go. Link speed was indeed started.
Yeah.
So a little bit different, because I have seen the ZVT out of TB Ham before, and he likes to go for that 1-1 roach push, which most Zerg players do these days against Terran. But no, instead it's going to be Zergling speed, so we might actually see a Ling Bling type of game out of TB Ham here.
We could do. It's the best kind, though. I will forever, my favorite matchup will forever be TVZ, where it's just Ling Baneling Muta versus Bio and Mines, and a Thor or few thrown in there, and just constant back and forth for ages.
Yeah,
they're the best games to watch.
It is really good. Those lings give you so much versatility. They allow you to move out on the map, but then also quickly run back if you have to defend a drop or anything like that. Where Roach Hydra is kind of like, it's almost like the mech of the Terran, right? Where it's like one big ball that moves slowly across the map and destroys everything. But with Ling Bling, you have all these different options you can go for. So, yeah, well, it looks like both players just content to macro up here. The second base is down for Star-tailed Bob, and he's moving into some tanks in the starport here. So
it's very interesting. A quick tank out of him. He might be simply because, like, as if we know, I'm sure he knows that TBN does like to play roaches, and so he might have just gone this Blyden tank just to be safe, which I actually kind of like from him. I don't think it's going to be mech as such, as he does throw down extra barracks. It's going to delay his stim, which is kind of not ideal, but getting tanks for safety is always a good option against a notorious roach player.
Yeah, and we do have the third base coming down for TB Ham, so really getting himself nice and set up here for a later game after getting that second gas up. Following up with a Roach Warren, though, so the Roaches aren't out of the question. They're definitely going to be, I mean, that could be there just for some quick defense if he needs them. Or it could be part of, you know, a Ling Roach all-in, which is definitely viable as well, especially if you throw a Baneling Nest in there with it. So we'll have to see here. With only 2 gases, I don't think Banelings are going to be added as well. So
Nah. I like his creep spread. He's already pushed this out to the ramp. He's gonna the next creep trimmer will push it down to the 3rd. Really active about that already, which I've noticed in the games I've watched of his as well. He's got some really good creep spread.
yeah,
He really focuses on it.
there's this screenshot of TB Ham. I don't remember who he was playing against, but it's literally
Stark?
like
He showed me.
I think
Yeah.
so. Yeah, I think it was
Ono-
Stark. Yeah,
Yeah,
and
Ono
the whole map
Yeah.
is creep. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, he does have a lot of APM to spare. It's kind of that's his APM isn't what's holding him back in platinum. It's a bunch of other things, but he does have APM to spare, so he just throws that into creep spread, which is super helpful. A lot of
Well, you know,
roaches.
Yeah, and he's actually got this Baneling nest down that was just scanned by Startailed Bob, so he knows about the Baneling nest. I'm just not too sure how aware he is about the roaches. I'm not sure if there was any sort of mini engagement that opened those up to him yet, but he looks to be pretty well defended on this. He's got a tank on the high ground, a tank behind the bunker. That bunker is pretty empty, to be honest, and the second bunker not finished yet. But these Banelings morphing in here are going to give those bunkers a chance to get filled up and finished, so this is going to be interesting. I think Startail Bob has the edge here in defending this, though.
Yeah, the main problem is he doesn't know it's coming because he got those quick tanks. He didn't have Hellions, and Hellions defend well against Banelings just as well as tanks. But not knowing this is coming, not having those backup bunkers is a bit of an issue.
Here
These
it comes.
tanks, though,
Those bunkers completely empty. The Banes are going to just completely bust through. And you know what? I think I was wrong. That first tank going down super quickly. That second one on the high ground going to be nice, but he's still going to at least force a liftoff here and kill lots of SCVs.
yeah, 10, 11 workers killed, which is kind of at least the minimum he needed to get from this. You know, I think he can at least trade okay with this push. If he can, I'm not sure if he can really push up into this funnel with the bio on top and the tank. It's going to be a lot different. He's going to make Banelings and try and shove his way in there. And he's getting this Overlord to try and snipe this tank. That's very, very cool.
Yeah, he needs to get that tank, and it looks like he's going to get it. These Banes are going to kill so many SCVs. Oh, getting lifted up by the Medivacs there. Nicely done by Startail Bob to sort of mitigate his losses here, but there's still like 7 Banelings crashing up the ramp here. Tech Lab going down, wall being busted up, and more Lings streaming in to help the cause of the Zerg here as they're going to stream up this ramp. There's still a few Marines and able to do quite a bit of damage with the funnel here, but they're just going to run past.
Not an ideal fight for TB Ham, but getting that tank really, like if he didn't get that tank, that push with those Banelings would not have done much at all.
Yeah, but these Lings in the main here, they're going to pick off another tank also, I think.
Another 9 workers. I think he's done enough that
Yeah.
like there's still all this bio and Stim is pretty much finished now. So I think like the push is over. As I say that, TB Ham's trying to rally more in, get more Banelings, but
Even with Stim and these Medivacs, though, this the amount of Lings here is going to be way
needs
more.
to be on the high ground. I think that's a mistake to push down now.
Oh, getting us around on some of these Marines here. The Marines are going to be pretty strong, especially with Stim here. Baneling's not in the fight with these Lings to help out, but I don't know. Lots of bio going down here.
A lot of Banelings. So Marauder is tanking well. These Banelings, they're trying to run up into me. Concussive Shell is actually super helpful.
A couple.
SCVs, yeah.
That could have been worse for Startail Bomb, and I think even more. Let's see here. What do we got out of TB Ham? 24 more Lings, so he's definitely trying to get the kill here.
He's committing to it.
Yeah, the fact is, though, with this third base with 14 drones on it, I mean, he's got a lot of workers here. 50 workers to 19. He can afford to do this and just keep Startail Bob on his back foot. I think he just wants to build up or pool up a few more extra army units, though, so that he can actually get the kill instead of streaming in with low numbers to get taken out by this bio. But
Triple mules for the Terran. You can never underestimate that power of the 3cc. Yeah, it's I think TB Ham those last few attacks. I think he just attacked a little bit in like 2 different armies. He kind of just needed everything together to go in all in one go. Should have been ideal.
I think so. Yeah, he's still in a good spot here, though.
Yeah,
but like
he's not behind by any means. I just don't think he can kill. Like I think Startail Bob, it has a possibility of coming back in the game.
I'd like to see some Baneling speed and maybe some +1/+1. There's a +1 upgrades coming through and a Spire going down as well. So TB Ham switching it up this week, and it's paying off here as he's given himself an insane lead in this game. and it's really his game to throw now. So we'll see. Hopefully that doesn't happen from his point of view. But Startail getting a much needed time to kind of clean himself up and get himself picked up again, and getting that wall rebuilt. So the game's not over yet.
I'd like to see TBM take a fourth and go up to that 7th and 8th gas geyser. Just because so he can support both lots of banelings, lots of mutas to defend drops. Because that's really how he's going to lose, is like Starter Bob somehow gets like a ninja expand up, or he dies to drop, or TBM dies to drops. He's already got pretty good overlord coverage to defend the drops.
Yeah, and a few Lings and Banes and a Spore Crawler as well, and his main getting ready for that. His third base is still pretty open though, so he's got to be careful with that. But he's still at the point where, okay, here's a macro hatch going down. I thought that might have been a fourth, but he's still pretty much in this point of the game where he can only build, or he only has to build army units. So he can trade pretty efficiently. That is going to be so many banelings. That's insane.
So significant amount of banelings, isn't it? 24 on the way. He's already got 12, so it's up to 36. Startail trying to take this third, which is spotted by Ling as well.
Yep, and he's got a lot of Marauders, and these few Widow Mines scattered across the place too could be really deadly to those banelings. So TBM has to be really careful. But the opening to the natural is pretty open right now. So if TBM gets a clue about that, he'll be able to do a lot of damage. Although, of course, right when I say that, Startail Bob closing that door.
I would like to see him wait till baneling speed. I don't want to see him attack before baneling speed's done, because it's just going to be so easy for the Terran to micro his Marines back and just let the banelings absorb all the hits. Otherwise, if you can wait till baneling speed, +1/+1's finished for TB
Yeah, and speed is going to finish just after this engagement actually happens. This is kind of too bad for TBM. He's got to back up here.
This Widow Mine. Oh, does separate a few banelings off. I like that. Oh, that's a lot of banelings. My goodness me.
Huge mine hit, and all these Marauders in really good positions here. These banelings really not doing as much damage as they were supposed to do, and Startail Bob coming up pretty good from that. Yeah,
I like that trade for Startail Bob, but it's those little trades that he can take that will get him back in the game. Lings are flooding in now, and if they're 1/1 Lings, good micro here from Startail Bob actually.
Yeah, stopping the surround here. These Lings are trying really hard for it, though. The Medevac's helping out quite a bit. Marauders are so tanky. You're seeing that right now. It looks like the bio is going to actually live through this attack here. And yeah, the Startail Bob needs to do that maybe 1 or 2 more times, and he's totally right back in this game.
Some mutas killed some SCVs in the main as well. There's actually no mining. There's one SCV in the main mining gas. That's it. There's no mineral.
Oh, the third base. TB stretching his opponent.
He's everywhere.
Yeah, I know. Jesus, he's getting his third base too, forcing the SCVs to leave and evacuate. This Bioforce is going to eventually be able to push that back, though. But look, the muta's coming back in through the main. Those missile turrets aren't done yet.
No, it's not. I'd like to see TB focus on some add-ons, maybe, if he can get in here. Because there's no workers to kill, so I reckon killing add-ons would be great. Just really slow down that Marine production, if he could. Killing anything, though, is kind of good. It's better than killing nothing.
Although I suppose the supply depots, it looks like he's targeting down, are probably the least priority out of everything here.
Yeah.
But he's going to get out of there with those mutas, not lose too many, and just kind of putting Startail Bob a few steps back again, killing 17 more SCVs in that process. Really nice play here. He's, like you said before, he's all over the place, stretching his opponent really thin, forcing him to multitask. And to give credit to Startail Bob, though, he's dealt with it about as well as you could have expected.
Yeah, he's hanging in there for a completely unscouted Roachling Baneling. Well, I wasn't really all in. He was off 3 bases. Yep. Really powerful shove. He's doing well. He's hanging in there as long as he can.
This Mutaflock is getting bigger and bigger, although he's losing quite a few of them to these Marines. He's really focusing on that armory, which is going down, so that's a thing. I don't know exactly how important it was for...
Yeah, he's already got +2 attack, like halfway done, or a third of the way done. Doesn't have +2 armor started yet, so he's going to have to rebuild that armory, especially if he wants Thors as well, obviously. And TB finally saturating this 4th base. Needs to get in those gas geysers though, so he can continually keep these trades up. Because if he gets up to those, like, that 7, 8, 9, 10 gas geysers, he's kind of... Well, extractors, not gas geysers. He's kind of going to do... He'll be able to continually take these trades for a long time as a Zerg player.
Yeah. He's already kind of in that position, to be honest. Wow, those 2 Marauders sucking up a lot of Baneling hits there. Good job by Startail Bob. And this missile turret wall in his main is enough to push back the mutas for now. So he's stabilizing here a little bit, but he's almost mined out of the main, and he's going to be pretty much on 1 base mining here.
Oh,
A
he needs
lot
to
of wall
save
of chat.
this third. This third's burning down.
Oh,
Can't let this
if
third burn down.
if those two
Because like
lings would have got that.
yeah. He's even on army supply. Like he's like TB Ham's just finished 2-2, and Starter Bob has 1-1. He's almost got 2-1 now, so he's a little bit behind in upgrades, but his army supplies are even. And so he's not out of this game. And with Mules, like Mules can keep the Terran alive for such a long time.
Yeah, and that's
He's
pretty evident even in this game. I mean, there was
yeah,
in any other race would have been dead with 15
yeah.
workers or however many Star-tailed Bob had. But he's been able to stay in this game, and TBHam just needs to keep doing what he's doing with these mutas and harassing when the Terran army leaves. He can see this army on his creep, so he's swinging around with his Lings and Banes and going to try to kind of. I don't know if he wants to engage this army or if he just wants to go in and harass the main once again, but it looks like he's going to harass in the natural, and he's getting a lot more damage done here. This is insane. I think this might be the push that ends it here. All these
Yeah.
SCVs going to go down to Banelings. Oh my god, 27
Sorry,
workers
Banelings.
killed. The third CC goes down, and now, actually, he could have run into the main. He actually doesn't. He's pretty happy with killing 29 SCVs and just backing off again. 13.
He lost yeah, so many workers down, but he lost a lot of Banelings against Marauders. It's like Starter Bob still has an army supply lead. I mean, 3-3 is started. That's kind of the advantage that TB Ham's got, is he can afford to go to Hive and go to 3-3, but pretty
be
big
careful.
Terran army moving across the map.
Yeah, and this is the worst position you can be in as a Zerg when you think you're totally winning on every single front of the game, but except for the fact that the Terran army is gigantic right now with medevac support, this Ling Bane force is not going to be able to kill this Bioforce. Oh, well, he took out all the Marauders, I suppose.
Yeah, which is nice if he can buy enough time to get more Banelings to clean up the rest of these Marines. But
Yeah, technically not an efficient trade, but in
no,
this,
definitely
in this
not.
situation, the Mutas are back in the natural again. They're going to take out that second base. It's really up to these Marines and these few Marauders here to end the game for Startail Bob, and there's a chance that it can happen.
He's gonna stop 3-3, which I don't think is really gonna change the game, to be honest. 3-3 was kind of just a bonus for TB Ham.
Mm-hmm.
He's slowly trying to clean up this force in his natural. There's Banelings rolling in and Lings. It's just so little things. I think his Banelings are going to do it. He lifts up, and yeah, the army supplies are even, but I think most of the army supply evenness is now just in medivacs. There's
Yeah, and
a
these
lot of
Mutas are going
medivacs.
to catch. The boost just
Oh, they
ran
are.
out. These Mutas are totally
Oh.
going to crush all these medevacs here, and I think that's going to be the tipping point here.
That's finally is. And it's a very, very good game. It's a very entertaining macro game, just quietly. It's been the best game so far.
Yeah, and it was exactly like you said about the Ling Bling Muta
Yeah.
play. Just creates awesome games if the two players play correctly, and both these guys playing really well so far. Startail Bob knows the significance of this game, so I think he's going to stick in here till the bitter end. He does have one base and mules, so he could still be in it here, but he's pretty broke right now.
Yeah.
So I think it's just a matter of time. We have the luxury of seeing everything on the map. Fifth base going
Obviously.
down. So we know what's up, but Startail gonna try to stick into this and pull off a miracle here.
Yeah.
That creep
Still
spread
going.
still continuing.
Still good. He's getting close to probably what would have been the Terran's fourth if the Terran ever got a fourth on this map. But yeah,
There was
just
a
needs to
drop
make.
There was a
There a
drop
drop?
down here at the bottom. Yeah, well, he was thinking about sneaking into the main, but he turned around right when he went over creep, so I wonder if he expected to be spotted there, and decides to come back, and there's a GG as soon as... Excuse me, as soon as Startail Bob saw the force that TB Ham had, that was it. So, wow, nicely played again by TB Ham, looking like he deserves to be playing random for sure.
Yeah. His Zerg is definitely his best race, though.
Is
It
it? Yeah,
allows
well,
him to-
I mean,
I think it is. Like, in my opinion. I'm not sure if that's
Yeah.
what he thinks, but from the games I've seen, I think Zerg is his best race.
Yeah, well, I'm just going off what I saw from him last week when he was playing Terran, and he looked really good there too. So,
Yeah.
could be an attribute to the amount of time he's putting into practicing this week or these weeks throughout the playoffs here. So, just really paying off there, and that's a 3-0 start for Team All Inspiration, which, to be
So
honest, is
long.
it's pretty much what we've been used to throughout the season, but. Just because of all the amount of work we've been putting in, but I'm kind of surprised to see it coming to this in the finals here. And to be honest, I'm hoping that Team Confederation can come back a little bit and make the series a little bit more close. But we have
Yeah.
another game coming up here, set number 4. It's going to be a ZVP this time, so that's going to be different.
Little Tramp is a very good Zerg player. for
Yeah,
Confederation. I hope they
actually,
get on the board.
yeah, for sure. I mean, we want to see a competitive series, right? No matter which team I play for or whatever. I'm
Yeah,
all about having a good series here and seeing some good games, which we haven't been disappointed on. We've seen some good games already.
high
They've
quality
just been
games.
Yeah, they've just been all going into All Inspiration's favor so far. But this time on Cloud Kingdom, we're going to have a ZVP, and I'll go ahead and introduce the Zerg player in the bottom corner of Cloud Kingdom, spawning in the red for Team Confederation. It's going to be the Little Tramp.
And in the top right hand side of Blink Kingdom from All Inspiration, it is Blink SCV. I hope he just goes like 2 gate Blink Stalker. Sorry, +2 Blink Stalker all in, just to really round out the whole Cloud Kingdom. Is really good for Blink. His name is Blink. He is Protoss. He should go Blink. That's what I think, at least.
Well, we'll have to take a look. This is one player I'm not too familiar with, so excited to see his playstyle on this map here, which, as you said, really good for Blink. This main base is so, like, there's just this entire area where you can just blink in and harass, and then not only that, but when you're trying to run away, you can blink out, and it's just really hard to deal with. So we'll see if that's the direction he wants to go here, and we're going to have a drone scout coming out of the Little Tramp because he wants to see exactly what's going on. I do like
I love
this.
the drone scan.
Yeah, me too, because it allows him to see if there's going to be a forge going down, and if he can take maybe 3 bases before
Yeah.
pool, be really cool.
I hope his plan is that. Like, I especially love the drone scout if you're scouting out to see if it's gateway first or not. Because if you see that gateway first, you can go 3 hatch before pool and feel pretty safe about it. If there's
Yeah.
no forwards.
He's getting that scout off right now. So we'll
Drone's
see-
coming down to make the hatch by the looks as well.
Yeah,
Let's go hatch
At
first.
we are definitely going to see a hatch first at least. The thing is with this gateway first, it can kind of push you away from wanting to go 3 hatch before pool because of the fact that like a 3 gate or a 4 gate is still possible. And it's still tough to hold. I mean, we can't all be life and hold with,
Yeah.
4 queens
Just
and a-
lings against zealots, which doesn't
Yeah.
make sense, but he still does it.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know if the Little Tramp is going to feel confident enough to go that far. But there's a drone out here, and it's going towards the 3rd base. And
Yeah,
it's
he has put down his pool, so he's
clicking
going
up.
for it.
awesome.
Which I love.
Yeah, me too. I mean, whenever I'm able to because whenever I'm able to open up with a 3 pool before hatch, or sorry, 3 hatch before pool, you always feel a 3 pool before hatch would be something else, but you always feel awesome, when you pull
Yeah.
it off, and then it just
Yeah.
sets you up for like the whole game. So
Every time I try it though, I always over drone and then just lose to 4 gate pressure for some stupid reason. I was like, I get to like 20, 22 drones. I scout the 4 gates. I'm like, okay, time to build units now. And then I just build another like 10 drones, and then
Yeah.
he comes and kills me. And I'm like, why did I do that? Why am I building drones? Like, it's frustrating.
because
sure-
when you have those 3 bases, you just feel like you have to saturate them all too, and like
Yeah.
before. So it's a trap that you can fall into, but we'll see out of the Little Tramp, see if he goes for that. He is scouting the natural going down, so he feels pretty safe that there's not going to be a 4 gate or even a 3 gate out of this, which is good for him. But Blink SCV just trying to get his macro going here off of 2 base, and then once this once this natural is done, we'll be able to see exactly where he wants to go with his tech plans.
Indeed. It's gasless out of out of Little Tramp as well. So still staying. Gonna rely on Queens and probably Zerglings to defend any kind of pressure, and a Spine Crawler maybe even as well. Not going to get those quick Ling Speed or quick Roaches or anything like that. This Overlord, well that might get shut down.
I think he's going to get away, but the most important thing was the Blink SCV able to push him away before he was able to spot that Stargate. I believe so, anyway. Yeah, Stargate was not spotted, so he's going to be able to do that in secrecy, at least for now.
That's in a really good spot as well. That's going to be so hard for him to see that Overlord, because that Overlord's so weak now. And
There's a
Blink SCV
Zergling.
knows what it is.
The Zergling running in. If it's on an A move, which it isn't, it might. No, it's not going to get up there. So close. If he had a second Ling with that, he totally would have been able to see.
I wouldn't be surprised to see some blind spores maybe soon. Just because he's sending in another Overlord now to try and from the third base to try and see what's going on.
Blind spores are definitely a good idea in CVP, especially with the fact that he could be opening TTs behind this. He could be opening
Yeah.
Stargate. So it doesn't hurt to throw down a spore at each base. So far though, Little Tramp not opting for that. This Oracle is being chrono boosted out and is almost on its way here, and this Overlord not looking like it's going to scout it in time.
No, the Stalker hasn't moved either to try and shut it down.
Heading up there right now. I think the Sentry actually is, but the blind spores are going down though, so that's going to be incredibly helpful
I like that
for
reaction.
the Little Tramp. Oh yeah, definitely. Because now, I mean, his bases are basically safe. There's going to be a couple drone kills because Oracles are really good at killing drones,
Yeah.
but not as many as he would have hoped for investing this much in this opening.
Yeah, especially that it hasn't been scouted, and there's not even going to be a drone kill.
Wow.
So it's good play from the Little Tramp. Very solid defensive play. He's got the best opening. He's defended against this Oracle. He's in a very good position here, I think.
That Oracle not even taking a single shot. I suppose the good news in that is that it's saving up its energy and might be able to do something a little bit later. But as of now, it's just going to be a scouting flying unit, and it's going to be able to get the scout off. And he's moving into a robo tech over here. So
it's not that 4-gate pressure either. So Little Tramp can feel free to saturate these bases now. Like he doesn't need to cut drones to be able to defend against that pressure. He can freely drone up to 3 bases. 65, 70 drones, and then start pounding out units, which is, I think he's in a solid position.
He's going for melee upgrades here, which I find really interesting. Generally, you don't see that. It's not that it's bad, though. I think that it could be pretty good for him. It's just that you just don't really see it that often, so I'm interested to see how this is going to play out here. I'm hoping he goes into like a huge Ling flood into, Lair, which hasn't started yet, by the way, kind of late for that. And then followed up into Hive with Ultras and stuff would be pretty cool, but that's far down the line so far. So.
Blink's taking a third. There was a Ling here which got killed, so he knows that there was perhaps intentions from Blink to take a third. Needs to get a Ling across there to confirm it though, just to make sure that there is a third and there isn't a 2-base all-in coming.
Yeah, really important to know that, especially on this map. I find the Immortal Sentry push really good on this map as well.
Yeah,
because
Chokes
you come in
are
from
so good.
Yeah, force fields are way too good on this map. So, getting another scout off.
Trying to kill the 4th. The Oracle.
Oh no!
Wailing away at the 4th.
Oh, it's actually kind of close.
Got
He actually gets to cancel. Wow, but then it's gonna die.
Yeah, that was the best the Oracle could hope for. Really shouldn't have got a cancel. Yeah, it did something.
More gateways coming through to finish up this wall off on the 3rd base, and the longer Little Tramp goes without scouting this, the better it's going to be for Blink SDV, who is not going into Blink. He's actually just going into regular Colossi gateway play here, which against the pure Ling style that we're seeing so far, it's going to be really good.
Yeah.
That's a lot of Lings, though, moving up towards the 3rd base, and you know
timed out well with 1-1 as well.
Yeah, he's totally going to be able to get a lot of damage done here. He might even just take out the 3rd altogether.
Blinky SCV's turning around and then realizing, he's changed his mind.
He almost caught a Colossi out of position here, but great move by Blink SCV to move it up onto the high ground. Instead, he's going to take out that 3rd base and just run back home and defend his 4th base, being harassed by so many sentries here.
A lot of force fields. We'll see how good his force field control is to defend against these Lings. If he can get that donut going, he's losing a lot of sentries. Already lost 2, I think 3.
And he's not going to... Yeah,
he gets
a recall
and doesn't get a cancel. That's unfortunate for Blink SCV.
Yeah,
he gets a recall, but he lost all the sentries.
Yeah, well, did he lose all the sentries? He didn't even save a couple. Oh my god, wow, that's terrible. Because now he's got to start from scratch with low energy sentries, and it looks like he might not even be interested in building them here. We'll see. Just going with Stalker, so he's going to have Zealot, Stalker, and 1 or 2 Colossi here, and there are so many Lings.
How many Lings are there? There's 74 Lings out on the map. That's a significant amount of Lings. And Hive's on the way, which I would probably think is for Vipers.
Could be Vipers, it could be Ultras. He's getting, I don't know if it's going to be Vipers, because he's getting pathogen glands for his Infestors here.
Infestors.
Yeah, so I don't know if he'd want to get... Vipers to go with that. Oh, that Colossi finally. Is he going to get it? Again, though, Blink SCV moving it to the high ground here, and it's going to contribute a crap ton of damage to all these Lings here. But some of the Lings running up into the main, looking a little indecisive there, and they're all going to get cleaned up.
Really could have sent Lings into both the natural and the main and tried to get a lot of probe kills. Sorry, he was a little bit indecisive. Decided maybe he could take the fight against the army, and then decided no. Then changed his mind again, and really didn't get a good trade for his Lings.
Yeah,
Um,
unfortunate there for Little Tramp because he definitely had options, but maybe that was the issue, was there's too many options. He could have gone after the third, or the Colossi that was exposed, or the main, or even the natural. So it's tough. You sometimes just got to pick a random option and just go for it.
yeah. Infestor's on the way. Um,
11.
yeah.
That is so many. And
Adrenal,
there's the Ultra.
yeah. Ultras and cracklings. Adrenal glands is on the way as well for the Lings.
These
The
guys are
Lings.
so strong against Protoss
Yeah.
in the end game.
Yeah.
I'm really liking the position Little Tramp is putting himself into here because once
I
he
love his
gets
armor
maxed,
composition.
yeah, once he gets maxed out on like Speedling Ultra, or sorry, Speed Crackling Ultras with max armor and everything,
Yeah.
he's going to be pretty much unstoppable.
Yeah. And infestors to hold everything together as well. I
Hmm.
mean, the Colossus are good against infestors because they just have absurdly large range, but still, I love, yeah, Little Transportation is solid. He's on good four bases. He hasn't saturated the minerals on the four bases yet, but he's getting the gas from it,
Well,
which
it's
is
important to note
nice.
too. We're only 14 or almost 15 minutes into the game here, and we got +2/+2
Max.
finishing, and he's maxed out. So that's
Yeah.
going to give him a really good option here to do a lot of damage. He's just got to make use out of all his units here.
Yeah. The problem with this though is Blink SCV is in a pretty solidly defensive place. He's got a little choke to get into the natural. He's got a little choke to get into the third. He's got Colossus sitting behind gateways and cannons and stuff like that. It's really hard for the Lings to be as effective as possible. Like if the army's out on the map, then this Zerg army is super strong. But he's fighting in chokes with the Ultras, and the Ultras are kind of just going to get in the way almost.
Yeah, for sure. I think what we're going to see here is an attack, and he's going to notice how defensive Blink STV is, and then he should back off and grab a couple expansions here because he's only
Mm,
on four bases. He could easily take a fifth base here without too much
yeah,
hassle.
Infestor's moving up. Throwing Infested Terrans actually, which I guess is nice.
Yeah, a lot of these. That's a lot of infested Terrans, actually. A couple infestors going down. These Ultras are effectively getting in the way, as you said before.
Yeah,
Not doing too much, but the force field's not doing too much. That one Ultra just canceled almost all of them.
the
And
Ultra
yeah, he sacrificed his life for the
sacrifices
greater good.
life. The Colossus are kind of just dominating this fight though, sitting
He
behind
doesn't.
this kind of wall.
He doesn't have enough ultras yet, and they're not maxed out on armor yet, which is going to be happening soon, though. The Dark Shrine, by the way, coming down here for Blink STV, and I really like that choice. We do have a Ling run by over at the Natural as well, taking out that wall off that Blink STV had set up here. So maybe opening in an avenue for attack, and at the same time coming back into the third base, and there's less defense here now, but Void Rays are starting to get pumped out, so very
Yeah,
helpful.
and I don't think that. I think Blink SV needs to pull back. He shouldn't be out here on the map below this natural. Because if he comes out on the map, that's when the Zoe player is going to have a good time. Because that's where he wants to be fighting out in open
Right.
spaces. Make use of those lings. Get all his ultras involved in the fight.
Yeah, for sure. And it looks like he's just trying to move back and forth here. Blink SCV a little confused, moving his Stalkers and Colossi down to the bottom side here. Meanwhile, Little Tramp just totally took out the third. I'm not too sure
To get
why
the
those
third.
units were going that way.
Hmm.
I think
It's a bit of it.
he was expecting some head games there, but it actually wasn't there. He just head gamed himself into bringing himself
It
out
could
of
have
position.
even. It could have been the Sim City a little bit. He might have just A moved behind, like down like the little
Oh
sneaky
yeah,
passage, and the army might have derped out a little bit and just kind of gone around instead of fighting.
that's true. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
one of the flaws of A moving for sure.
As an army lead now, and he's taken a fourth, is Blink SCV. And Little Tramp really needs to saturate this fourth and take a fifth. Like he's
Yeah, he should have been.
oversaturated.
He should have been expanding like crazy behind that, actually. He had so much time here. And the longer this game goes on, the better it's going to be for the Protoss. But still, things looking pretty good here for um, Little Tramp as he, well, I don't know, this Stalker, or this Protoss army's maxed out and moving across the map here. So we'll see.
So this doesn't have much really to fight these Colossus though. I mean, Ultras are good against Colossus, but it's not ideal. All those infestors are dying very quickly.
There's even a Warp Prism here that's not really doing anything right now, but it could be warping in reinforcements. The Hydra Switch, not really at the best time here. These Ultras, though, are finally in a good
Ultras
position.
finally have done some work.
Yeah, it took them forever to
GG,
get
just
into
like
that.
that. Wow.
Wow, that was that's all it took, I guess. So the overall plan was really good for Little Tramp. I think the execution was here and there, but he did end up getting that third base, and that was a lot for Blink STV to come back from, as he had to rebuild that. and then he probably felt like he was so behind, so he went out for an attack, and then finally the Ultras were able to get into a good position to get something done.
Yeah. I don't think he needed to attack. I think if he had stayed back, because he was taking his fourth behind that, and Little Tramp was only on 4 bases, and Protoss is even on with the Zerg on bases. And he was down in upgrades, which is nice. But if he sim citied up that fourth base and sat behind it with Colossus again, and just continually forced the Zerg into bad engagements, because he did like the
Yeah.
Zerg was staying on Ling Ultra, which is really reliant on getting a good engagement out in space.
Yeah, and
As we,
it would have given him some time to transition into maybe some Immortals or some Void
mm,
Rays. He did make a couple Void Rays, but he didn't kind of
yeah.
keep up with it. So
Yeah, wasn't enough to wasn't like 6 or 7 really to fight back the ultras heavily.
yeah. All right, so that's going to give Team Confederation their first win of the series. Going to bring the score to 3-1, and it was really well played, I think, by both players. Obviously, the Zerg player played a little bit better to get the win, and I liked his plan right off the bat. So
Yeah.
it was a lot of fun to watch and to cast, and that's going to get us set up for set number 5, which is going to be on Shakura's Plateau, coming right up.
Burn versus MinimumRage. PvT goal game.
Yep.
Be a solid game. MinimumRage fielded quite a bit for All Inspiration, 8 times so far.
Yeah,
Regular player for you guys.
and he only had the one loss, I think, during the regular season. Is that right? I
Yeah,
think so.
seven and
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, MinimumRage, if you haven't seen any of his games yet, it's going to be a lot of fun to watch, especially against a Protoss here. We'll see if he goes with what he's done in the past. Or maybe, though, knowing that it's a incredibly important matchup here, he might switch it up. We'll have to see. But I'll go ahead and introduce him in the bottom left corner of Shakura's Plateau, spawning for Team All Inspiration. It's going to be the Red Terran MinimumRage.
And in the bottom right hand side, spawning close by air from Confederation, it is the Protoss player Burn. What does MinimumRage like to do in TVP normally?
Well, okay, so from my experience of casting his games, he usually opens up with some sort of one base drop play into a relatively fast expansion after that, usually involving either Hellions or Widow Mines. And then
He likes
after
the early
that,
factory.
yes, he gets the early factory. He then transitions into 3 or 5 factories and then goes full tank Widow Mine and wins with it.
Tank Widowman. Oh, actually, I saw that cut. When was I watching that? It was on Cloud Kingdom, and he went just like stupidly amount of like Widow Mines, like 30 plus.
Yeah,
That
30
was
plus,
silly.
usually about 15 to 20 tanks to go with it. Um,
That's
so
so
we'll
very
see though.
interesting.
Yeah, it is. But the thing is, though, it's kind of predictable. And if Byrne has done his homework, he's going to be able to see that there's quite a few of these games have been casted where he has all the time he wants to look and see what MinimumRage does and figure out a way to combat it. So we'll see about that with Byrne. Now, unfortunately, I don't know too much about Byrne's playstyle here. So we'll have to see what he could do to bring to the table here in this game. Because one more win for Team All Inspiration, and that's going to put Confederation way on the back foot pretty early on here. So hopefully he can step it up and take down the almighty MinimumRage.
Probe Scout out of Burn as well. He's well aware of the gas timing and the barracks timing, so he knows what's up. He's going just a single gas out of him, not the double gas. So probably looking just to get the Cybercore and a nice early expansion. No real crazy early 5 minute Stargate or anything like that. As there are police in my driveway. This game might get cut short. That's interesting. There's a police
Wow.
like my window's like right next to like my front yard, and there's a police car pulled up.
Okay, well, great timing on
Interesting.
that. If we,
Interesting.
yeah,
If I disappear suddenly, that's why.
yeah. Well, hopefully everything's okay.
I hope so. Oh, it looks like they're moving down the street. Hopefully not
Okay.
me. I don't do anything illegal, so should be fine. Anyway, moving on. This probe hidden up here in the top right side, top left hand side.
Yeah, sneaky, sneaky probe. He's going to be dropping down a pylon relatively shortly, I'm sure. It's a little bit late. Actually, not quite. I mean, it would be right around now when he would drop down a pylon for maybe a proxy Stargate after an expansion, but looks like he's just going to move out and maybe he was just hiding so he can get a scout later.
Yeah, it's going back to confirm the scout on MinimumRage by the looks. It's to see exactly what he's doing. Reaper is moving across the map for MinimumRage. He's just scouting out. I don't think he's going to try and get any probe kills just from his pathway. He might actually lose his Reaper. Oh, not quite. It's going to get away. They live forever, Reapers.
Yeah, they do.
Oh,
No matter
silly
how
to
much
think he's
damage they
going to
take.
die.
No, he's just going to hop off the side of the map here and then come back 30 seconds later, full health. He does see the expansion, though, and he got to see everything in the main, so he knows what's going on here. That second base coming down at a regular time for MinimumRage, and he's getting that factory to follow it up. Again, pretty normal coming out of him. The thing about
we'll see if
MinimumRage... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, see if it's for Widow Mines or for Hellions or anything like that. I like Factory in TVP. A second Factory. Oh, wow. Looks like we're going to see that Factory shenanigans out of him.
Definitely interesting here. He's dropping onto the reactor here. There's no starport yet, so maybe he'll be bypassing the whole drop play that he's used to doing.
Getting Widow Mines.
I like what he's doing too with this Reaper, scouting the entire corners of the map, looking for any sort of proxy pylon. Not going to find one yet. That probe is still out on the map. He's just over on Burns' side of the map here, so staying pretty safe over there.
I like his activeness with the Reaper. That's a very good play from him. I've been watching a lot of Unrivaled games lately, helping them prepare for their matches the last couple of weeks, and a lot of their Terran players actually don't do this. They don't be active with their Reaper after they're scouted. They scout once or twice and then send it home. It just stays in their army. I just keep telling him just continue, like leave it on a patrol or something like that around the map.
Yeah, because he's going to spot this robo.
Yeah.
So he knows about the robo, which is so generally standard.
Valuable information. Yeah, pretty standard. It was after the one gate. Nice and safe, really.
Reaper came so close. And again, 30 seconds later, it'll come back full health and get another entire scout off here. Got to see everything once again. But I like Burn here, waiting till the Reaper's out of the main here, and he's going to drop down a few more gateways to follow this up, to bring it up to 5 gateways, I think, off of 2 base, which is pretty standard. And he's getting some sentries here, so it looks like he's just trying to defend his natural, which has been up for quite a while now compared to MinimumRage. So he's had the edge economically, and that's being shown here by the supply lead he's got right now.
I want Burns' Observer to duck into the main here. Oh, he's going to lose it to these Marines as well. It was a good pick up there from MinimumRage. He saw the Observer. Oh, just gets away.
Wow.
I want to see this Observer just confirm the double factory, because he saw the Widow Mines with it briefly, but he needs to get in and confirm that that's what MinimumRage is doing.
Yep, and he is getting that. Well done by Burn there. That was so close. Almost lost the Observer, but now Burn knows exactly what's coming out. He's going to see more tanks coming out of these factories, and he's going to be able to at least confirm this playstyle coming out of MinimumRage if he didn't know about it already.
It's half the battle. Now, does he know how to actually fight against it, though? That's the next question.
I think he does, because look at this double expansion into a third and a fourth. I really, really like that play. That shows that Burn has done his homework here, because MinimumRage is probably not going to move out for another 10, 15 minutes. So why not get these expansions up? And he's going to be really prepared. Finally, that Reaper going down as I randomly scroll past it dying. Yeah, that Reaper goes down, and Stargate coming out. And I think Burn is responding very correctly to this.
Yeah, I don't know if like these guys are gold players. I'm not sure if it was him that came up with this response, or if it was one of his like the high league players on Confederation practicing with him and telling him, all right, if he does this, go take 2 expansions, go up to Stargate, and get Tempest and get Void Rays or Carriers or whatever the choice may be. I actually want to see Carriers, to be honest.
It could be. I think it's going to be Tempest, though. I'd put my money on Tempest over Carriers.
Like because I mech against, like I play Terran and I mech against Protoss, and I find Carriers the hardest to deal with. Well, actually, I find Phoenix even harder, but I don't think Phoenix would do too well against the heavy Widow Mine style. But I think Carriers are just so hard to fight against. Really comes down to a solid micro battle. Like Tempest are pretty hard countered by Ravens, but not that Burn has gone into Ravens yet. Not that MinimumRage has gone into Ravens yet, but either way, it's a good choice.
Yeah, for sure. And the fleet beacon is up. MinimumRage getting a scout on his 3rd base here with that Marine. So we'll see what Burn wants to go into after that fleet beacon finishes up. And I'm a little bit worried for MinimumRage here because of his passive style here, sitting back. He's actually going to be defending instead of attacking, which is something he's not really used to as far as... Oh, look at that. He's getting a Void Ray and a Carrier, so...
He's going Carriers. I like that choice. Yep. I love that choice.
Well, we'll be able to see exactly...
Minimum Rage sent his Widow Mines out to kind of harass bases. He really is very, very passive.
Yes, he definitely is. He's like the definition of a, I don't want to say a velo because it's not quite like that, but very passive, defensive, wait until you have 3 or 4 bases up and then just go and crush your enemy type style, which is similar to a velo, but it just seems to be done differently from Minimum Rage's point of view.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see here. But like you said, the more passive he is, he's trying to land that third base, so he'll be on 3 at least, which will even the playing field a little bit. But he's it's kind of a situation now where in previous games, the longer the game goes on, the better it is for Minimum Rage. But I think it might be the opposite this time.
Yeah, if he's finally got a scan off on these starports, so and sees the fleet beacon as well, so he should expect that, and I hope he throws down a bunch of starports himself.
Yeah, he did
Because
even see that carrier too. So
if he lets the Terran sit back and get 10 carriers and lots of void rays, it's pretty hard to fight that army correctly. That's half the battle with mech is getting the right unit composition. So
we'll see. He's not dropping down. Oh, he did get 1 extra starport here. I don't know if he thinks he needs more or not.
I think he needs more. I think he needs at least like 3, 2 with probably reactors, 1 with a tech lab to get ravens.
Yeah, he's going to be pumping out these Vikings pretty soon here. He needs to get started on that very shortly. But here comes the Minimum Rage expansion train now. He's trying to get up to 4 bases as well. He's very good about making sure he's consistently building bases and not falling behind on that aspect of it. So what needs to come out of Burn is to keep up with that from Minimum Rage, because once he sees he's on a 4th base, he's going to need to kind of take a lead in bases again so that he can remain in the lead here. This is going to shape up to be a really interesting game.
Yeah, MinimumRage has just scanned Burn's 4th as well and sees it. I'm not sure if he clicked on the gas guys to see how long it's been going here. But he is at least aware of it now, that Burn is on 4 bases and can afford those 4 Stargates building carriers.
Well, the Vikings are on the way for Minimum Rage. He's got 3 now, and he's going to hopefully continue to churn them out. Sitting right on top of an observer here, which is a little bit unfortunate for him. But meanwhile, we still have 3 carriers coming out at a time for Burn, and he's building up quite the fleet here. So it's gonna when the time for battle comes, it's gonna be craziness.
Lots of scans coming down, try and pick up the army. I like that. Like as a mech player, when you're playing against Protoss, you want to continually scan the army because like mech is strong. Like it, and obviously against Protoss, there's people that say it's not that good against Protoss. But if you can counter the Protoss army perfectly, it is very, very strong.
Yeah, and these Widow Mines are going to be pretty good against Protoss no matter what. Seeing as how they have a bonus against those shields.
That bonus damage, yeah.
Yeah, it's quite a thing to see when you see like 17 zealots get blown up by 4 Widow Mines. But
So funny.
we're not going to be seeing zealots getting blown up this game. I'm not sure what's going to happen actually when these carriers go over that. Definitely not going to be good for them.
I'm not sure motherships are good. Like mothership's good, but the Terran A has scans, B has Vikings, and they can it might allow the carriers to get a few quick shots off. But I don't know. I love the input of a mothership.
It's not going to play too. Yeah, like there's even missile turrets going down on the edges here. Now the 4th base and the 3rd base don't have missile turret coverage, so if you were to sneak around there and get something done, maybe that could happen. By the way, there's a medevac with 3 Widow Mines in it over here by the 4th base. Just chilling out, waiting for the perfect opportunity.
Yeah. He scanned his army to try and get rid of the Observer, but the Observer's a little bit back. I like his Viking count. He's really pumping those out, which he needs. This is the first part, but he needs to have good control with the Vikings. So he needs to focus the carriers and not the interceptors. It really comes down to a microfire, which is why I like carriers as a response, just because it generally allows the better player to win, not just the player that built an army that can't be killed as such. It makes it an even fight.
A couple Widow Mines being dropped. Yeah, the 3rd one going down. It's actually going to burrow, and there's no observer here, so a couple probes, I think, getting taken out there. Well, a total of 7 killed, but I don't think that happened just right there.
It's a little bit sloppy, actually, because he knows that he's gone Widow Mines. He probably should have built a blind cannon in each base. And Widow Mine, another one goes off. He's cleaned up the gas mining up at this 4th, which is good for him.
Yep. Actually, that's probably where the other worker kills came from, the kills on the gas here. So nicely done by MinimumRage, keeping himself in the lead here. He's actually got a full supply lead, and he's fully maxed out with 74 workers. So I'd like to see him pull a few of those workers and add them to the army here so that he can then remax after they die. But
It's
we'll have to
still, I'm
see.
not sure, like, it's a big army, but I'm not sure it's an army that can kill the Protoss, the amount of carriers there are. Like, if the Widowmines don't kill the carriers all at once, then there's only a few Vikings left over. Like, I think he really needs to almost turret push, hilariously.
Well, here comes the push here. I just saw Burn select his whole army and get it all together here. He's got 5 observers with this army. A couple Vikings moving out to quickly die, but they do get the scout off here. All these Widowmines are hiding. Oh my god. He killed like almost all the interceptors, but he actually killed almost all of his own Vikings with them as well. But luckily,
Yeah.
following up with a few more Vikings here, this is going to be nuts.
There's no more observers, though.
These
There's
tanks
no
are pretty
observers.
useless. Wow,
Yeah, exactly.
this is gonna be
Carriers.
insane.
So good. And the mothership is going down now. It didn't really help. His Widow Mines are about to reset, though. He really needs to get out of dodge.
He's just
These
sitting
Widow
right on
Mines.
top of them.
These
Oh, my
Widow
God.
Mines. Oh no, please move, please move. I don't want to see all these carriers start at Widow Mines.
I totally would have loved to see that.
It would have been great. It would have sucked for the Protoss, but it would have been very entertaining to watch.
He's
This
actually
is the
going to
problem.
move these. He's going
You
to try to
need
get
to
these
get these
Widow Mines underneath, but they're going to take a lot of carrier shots here from the interceptors. Couple going off here, not too exciting so far. Vikings
Doesn't have
streamed in.
yeah.
No, all those Vikings died really fast here. It's all up to these Widow Mines, and I don't think they're going to have the power to do it here. And actually, MinimumRage really doesn't have that much left to follow this up. This is so many carriers.
That's the problem with mech. It takes so long to remax the army.
Definitely, and he's trying to get as many Vikings and Ravens and Widow Mines out as he can, but
Carriers just
Oh,
flying
okay.
over the mines. Don't even care anymore.
so close.
Takes
It
so
was
long
like
to kill
10
him.
seconds later.
What are the upgrades on the air? He's got 2-2 on his air.
Yeah, he's
That's
been. He definitely made the right choice as soon as he confirmed what MinimumRage was doing. That quick double expansion into 4 bases and then 3 Stargate story into these carriers seems to be the correct answer.
Yeah, he needs to get an observer so he can kill the mines, which would be nice, but I guess that doesn't really matter. I just don't think these Widow Mines can kill. Like, they're going to kill interceptors, which is good. And the Protoss is kind of broke at the moment because he has to keep rebuilding the interceptors, but
Yeah, but
killing
he
these
can't
carriers.
he can't get underneath them fast enough. Taking out all the bases of MinimumRage as well, and all MinimumRage really has is a couple a handful of Widow Mines. He's trying to get a nice little set of units back at his natural here, but he's got no workers mining from the natural. The 3rd is gone, the 4th is gone, the 5th was gone as well. So he's like his income is 360 to 400 minerals per minute. So really not
Look at
what he needs.
I love Burns' like income. He's going at 1,400 minerals per minute, but I haven't seen his minerals get over 100 for a long time, just because the interceptors keep rebuilding. They keep
Yeah.
dying to these Widow Mines.
Why not though? It's an effective way to spend your money, right? These Widow Mines, the only thing they can really do is scoot underneath these carriers while there's no interceptors. But right here, so many Widow Mines going to die here. He's not even burrowing them.
So many interceptors.
Oh man, just not looking too good for MinimumRage here. As Burn has got the fleet, and he can pretty much do whatever he wants at this point. If he wanted to get another base up or continue to make probes, because his probe count is relatively low for this point of the game, and trying to sustain max carriers, but he's actually getting that observer now and a couple more carriers, and I think that it's going to be pretty tough for MinimumRage to come back into this one.
Yeah, it's so hard for him to rebuild that army. And I think this is the problem with the Widow Mines. They only shoot once, and then they have a cooldown. Like, it's not a continuous fire. Like, it's good as a gimmicky build. Like, but if Burn prepared, which it appears he has been well prepared for this game,
Yeah, totally.
it's very difficult for him to win.
Yep, this SCV trying futilely to get that missile
Well,
turret
he
up.
might lose his, can't lose his observers.
Oh my god, you see that?
Yeah,
That's insane.
Just
His
killed
own-
all the interceptors. Killed
And all his own
Vikings.
Vikings.
Yeah. It's just so random. It's such a risky way to play.
Well, the
Hashtag
thing is, like
classy.
when your opponent doesn't hard counter you right away, that this play
Yeah.
has been proven to work. But like
Yeah.
we've already said, Burn was extremely well prepared for this, and that's kind of it's one of the cons in being a I don't want to say it's a gimmicky player, but I suppose it does kind of fall underneath that category. When you
Yeah,
do the same thing every week, it's really easy to scout, and then you can't really be mad when the other guy just totally destroys you because he countered you.
yeah.
And I think that's what's happening here. I mean, I don't know what Minimum Rage can do to come back into
He,
this.
he's on top of the production. That's really kind of it for mech. Once you kill the production, it's hard enough rebuilding your army, but then to rebuild all your infrastructure as well,
Yeah,
it takes way too long, way too much gas. And he's got lots of gas banked up, but he's really just not mining enough at the moment. Oh, those Widowmine shots on the interceptors are very entertaining though.
they are. But they just get remade so quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
His
this
average
is-
unspent resources at the end of the game would look pretty good, I think. Just because he's
Yeah.
continually spending all his money so quickly.
Yeah, for sure. He's got a huge gas bank as well, though. But
Yeah.
it doesn't really matter at this point. It's just a matter of time before the
Yeah.
GG comes down. But again, as we said before, knowing the importance of this game, Minimum Rage is going to try to do whatever he can.
He might try and hang in there because the nature of Widowmines, he might get a few off, as he says. GG. He might have got a few off and killed all the carriers, and then he'd be in an excellent position. But GG called. As,
That was fun, though. I mean, that's
was
so now
very-
to all of Minimum Rage's past opponents who were wondering like, how the hell do I deal with that? That's pretty much how you do it. So
carriers are the answer. I'm telling you, carriers against mech are very strong.
yeah, well, I never really
please
seen
don't
it
go
in
carriers
action.
against me.
That's hilarious. Yeah, so we all know how to beat the famous Minimum Rage there, and that's a little bit unfortunate for Team All Inspiration because that's the second win now for Team Confederation. That's going to bring the score up to 3-2, I believe, right?
Yeah, 3-2. We got a PvP next as well, and PvP is coin flippy as hell. Who knows what's going to happen? I really, really hope we get to the ace match with it tied up
It
for
would-
all.
It
That
would
game
be,
would be so very epic.
yeah,
Especially both players are so very good as well. Like Lando, super good Terran. Siren is a super good Protoss.
yeah. Well, I've seen Siren in week 7 we played against him, and there's a lot of walkovers that week. But Siren TT was one guy who showed up and was able to push Stark back, so he took a win off of Stark, and that was really well played. So we're gonna see PvP here, as you said, and we should just jump into that one right now because it's going to be on AllIn Waste, featuring a couple good players here. So looking forward to getting
Smoke.
into this one.
And the operator,
Yep.
both pretty. Well, Gil Smoke is a pretty regular player for Confederation. Played
The
most weeks so far.
The operator didn't play too much this season, but having done a race switch in the middle of the season, I can totally understand that. Used to play Terran. He was pretty good at Terran, and then decided to go back to his old Protoss roots. So we'll see. Last week he had a really good game against a Zerg player. We'll see how good his PvP is. And while I'm talking about him, let's go ahead and introduce him in the bottom right corner of AllIn Waste, the red Protoss player spawning for Team AllIn. It's going to be the operator.
And for Confederation, he's team down by only one map now, trying to tie it up. The Protoss player in the green, it is Giggle Smoke. I like
Very
that
key
name.
game. Oh yeah, it's hilarious.
That's a good name, Giggle Smoke. I've actually noticed that, like the games I've casted, there's been a lot of really clever names.
Yeah, I've
Very
noticed that
creative.
too, actually, and not really coming out of my team. It's more coming out of the opposing teams. We keep finding all these really funny names, and Giggle Smirk is definitely one of them. And he's finding himself in a really important game here. This could tie up the week, and that's going to be pretty epic. So in a PvP, like you said, which is pretty coin flippy, it's going to be interesting for sure.
Both players probe scouting. They both see each other probe scout as well, which is nice. I like that both of them scouting, and I like that they scout. There's really, you're kind of asking to have a bad time if you don't scout in these games because of the nature of best of one, and both teams preparing pretty heavily to play the person. Like you really need to scout and be on top of the game. So I'd feel so bad if I lost to something silly like a proxy gate just because I didn't scout.
Yeah.
I'd really be kicking myself, letting your team down. Because that simple thing.
Yeah, and if the game comes down by just a one game. And I lost my game in the quarterfinals, and I felt absolutely terrible about it, to the point where like I just didn't even want to play anymore during the playoffs because the pressure's. I'd rather cast, thank you. I don't really want to.
The pressure is real.
Yeah, for sure. And this is the finals where the pressure is going to be about as big as it's going to get here. So, like you said, scouting incredibly important, and both players doing a good job of it. especially OP
Yeah.
actually, still or operator, sorry, still in the base here. Or actually, no, sorry, that's Gigglesmirk, still in operator's base,
Yeah.
so getting a good scout off.
Giggle Smoke's even following Operator's probe across the map, his original scouting probe, just to make sure he's not gone off anywhere to drop any sneaky pylons or anything like that. Really staying on top of it.
We do have a double gas going down here for Gigglesmirk, and that indicates to me at least some sort of tech-heavy play. I usually like to go with the Stargate, so that's what I'm guessing right now.
Guessing Stargate. Operator's
Yeah,
Cybercore is actually quite a bit behind Google Smokes.
it is really late, and I wonder if it
Yeah.
has to do with all this microing to get rid of this scout here.
Yeah.
In PvP, that's going to be huge here because it's all about being as crisp as possible and getting that building down right when the Stargate or right when the Cybercore is done, and that's what we are seeing a Stargate out of Gigglesmirk.
Yeah, especially like even in just like mirror matches in general, like your timing of your builds is so critical because like you both players have the same tools to work with.
Yeah,
And so it's not like your race can give you an advantage over the other race. Like it's all about your skill and your choice of building placement and building timing and all that kind of stuff.
yeah,
It's
for
really
sure.
it's why I like mirror matches as well. So
It's a good skill check because it's like, okay, like, I can beat Terran because I know that, my roach push works really well against them, but in a ZVZ or in a PvP when they have the same tools I have, like,
yeah,
you're playing on the same playing ground here. This
yeah.
Mothership Core finally going to push away this scout from Gigglesmirk, so nicely done there. And he's following it up with a Twilight Council, and I don't think Gigglesmirk got the scout off on that.
No,
Nope.
oh yeah, I don't think Google Smoke sorry, but the operator is fully aware of the Stargate out of Google Smoke, so he should be getting stalkers and probably positioning the stalkers in the mineral lines nice and safe. I hope, because he knows that there's a Stargate coming.
At the very least, he
Doesn't
can drop down a photon overcharge to get rid of that oracle, but he needs to act fast on that one. So,
still doesn't quite have it. I think you should just have it when it gets here.
oh right, yeah, it's
It
100 for some reason.
needs another 4 energy, but he's going blink, which is generally a pretty good reaction to Stargate. It's kind of how PvP goes. Twilight versus Stargate.
Yeah, and his stalkers are not in position here, so this
No.
oracle is zooming in here. It's going to be able to get a couple probe kills at least. The reaction time has to be super fast here to get minimal losses.
3, 4, 5.
Pretty well done.
Hold on.
And
Yeah,
if he picks
5.
off,
4. Doesn't
oh,
want to
that
lose that Oracle.
yeah,
There it
that oracle
goes.
gets away and baits a photon overcharge as well. So, I mean, 5 kills is about what you would expect from an oracle opening. So not too bad for either player here. But Gigglesmirk has a pretty commanding worker lead now, and
Yeah.
supply lead as well. So
He's getting Phoenix, which I like, getting a couple of Phoenix, but getting him, he's immortal. First immortal's halfway done, which is going to be super helpful against this Blink attack. If he can get one, probably two immortals out by the time this hits, this 3 gate Blink. Even the
yeah,
Phoenix are going to be pretty helpful just to, like, not to fight, but probably just to lift the Stalkers out, just to take a bit of um, that
I,
army number down. Like, yeah.
yeah, for sure. The crowd control really good on the Phoenix. I'm really happy that Operator's coming back. He's just chilling out in his natural. Looks like he might want to get an expansion up at some point, but this Oracle is still around here, and there's nothing to defend against it. So it's going to actually fly back in here.
Yeah, he can't really move out until he gets like
Oh my
10-ish
God,
stalkers, so he can afford to leave 3 at home. But this Oracle, I think, might die now. Yeah, but he's done the work. He's killed a lot of probes, 11
Def-
total.
He's definitely paid for himself there. That's a lot of workers killed here, and especially again in a mirror matchup, the worker count means a lot more because again you're on the same playing field. So Gigglesmirk finding himself with a much better economy here, and Operator's going to need to get some damage done with these Blink Stalkers or try to get an expansion and defend it for a few minutes in order to catch back up in this game.
Yeah, but Gigasmoke has 2 immortals. The third one is slowly on the way once he gets past this little supply block that he has. He's got
And
Phoenix moving out here as well.
yeah, and these Phoenix, like you said, are going to be really good in the form of crowd control, picking off that mothership core as well, and also just scouting. I mean, having Phoenix just hovering around all the time, he can harass the probe line with them too. So, very versatile units. This Operator Zealot just chilling in the base without
Yeah,
being
it's just
harassed
like
at all.
not entirely sure how he got over there. What he had doing here.
Yeah.
Just kind of all by himself, poor fella.
He did see the 2 immortals though, so he knows that his stalkers are going to be pretty hard pressed here. Phoenix is coming in to target down this mothership core.
Oh, they
Does
might get
get
it.
yeah, but he does get the photon overcharge off, which actually isn't going to do any permanent damage at all. But at least it forced the Phoenix back, and Gigglesmirk has taken a pretty commanding hold of this game so
Yeah.
far.
He's in a pretty good lead. Like the operator would have loved to have that mothership core over on the map to with this blink attack
Yeah,
because it's like it's vision and it's like time warp is super strong in PvP because it slows down everything for ages. And getting that mothership core with a Phoenix is pretty good, and it really forces the operator to stay at home, even though his entire instinct is to go across the map to try and get damage done to catch back up.
yeah, and these Phoenix are sticking around being so annoying, and Gigglesmirk is in a position where he can actually expand soon because he's.
Yeah.
I like how he's continually building probes. Well, as I say that, he's stopped now. Build another probe. But he's oversaturated for sure, so it's about time to go take an expansion. And he has the Immortals to defend it. Phoenix
Yeah,
coming through once again, not really getting too much done that time, though.
He's up to 4 immortals, and the operator's getting Templar Archive, which I assume is probably going to be for Archons. But like he's going across the map now. And the Phoenix, I think they spot this moving out. Yeah, they will spot it now moving out,
Yeah,
which is nice.
yeah,
If
and
they,
Operator.
they can lift and get those sentries, that's going to be gross.
I don't know if they would kill him in time, though, with all the Blink Stalkers here. He's
I think
actually
I'd
just going to
prefer-
take him back.
Yeah, take him back and just like lift up Stalkers just so he's got less
Yeah.
DPS. But these Immortals, he's got 4 Immortals. That's just way too many.
Yeah, but
This
you
is
can't
like-
really fault Operator for trying to get an attack in here because he's so far behind now. He
He's being
needs to do
forced
this.
into it. That's the problem.
Yeah, these sentries are lagging a little bit behind. Photon overcharge going down just to make matters worse. One stalker, that one guy wasn't able to blink. That was really close, but
Poor fella.
not able to blink away. Operator's going to pull back, and I'm waiting on him to drop this expansion here. He doesn't really have the money for it. It's going to be risky either way, but I think that's the only thing he can do right now.
Yeah, I agree. He's in between a rock and a hard place a little bit. Yeah, he's got
Well, that's what happens when you
down.
lose.
He's down in tech. He's down in probes. He's got this. He's getting an Archon, which is nice. Like Archons are really good, but just he's so far down in immortal count.
Yeah,
Gigglesmirk's in the driving seat.
that's why I think that if Operator dropped down an expansion, not too long ago, then he would be able to start getting it up, getting up and running, getting an income going over there, and then the longer, like, even if Gigglesmirk scouts it with these Phoenix, he still has a couple minutes before the rest of the army makes it across the map. But instead, it's going to be Gigglesmirk who drops down the expansion first and just securing the lead even more. And of course,
Yeah.
Operator following it up with his own expansion.
These Phoenixes getting a little trapped, but they'll get out so fast.
Yeah, and I love Gigglesmirk's Phoenix play so far, really keeping Operator on the back foot, forcing him to stay home, and allowing him to do whatever he wants back at home, which is get a crazy amount of Immortals out. And he's actually going into Twilight Council himself. I think for upgrades.
Yeah, I imagine that's probably for +2. I don't think he'll go blink. Probably charge as well.
Yeah, charge would be
Significant
pretty
amount of
good. Yeah, especially against Blink Stalkers. Be pretty helpful. And we'll have to see. Operator going for that robotics facility now, but it's probably about 10 minutes later than it really should have been.
Yeah, I don't see him being able to hold this attack. It's like Gigglesmirk's got Archon. He's got Immortals. He's got Phoenix to lift the sentries and the stalkers, or kill the mothership core. He's got enough energy to time warp and either retreat or throw down a second time warp. He's got a big army supply lead. I think he might be tying this up for Confederation.
Here it
He
comes.
lifts the
Picking up.
sentries.
Yeah, nice micro there. Picking up the sentries, even picking up a zealot there. Struggling in the air. That's a funny animation.
Yeah.
These Immortals are going to tear down this Nexus.
Yeah.
And there's a GG. Yep.
Good game.
I
Very good
respect
game from Gigglesmirk.
Yeah, that was a little bit one-sided there, but really well done. Nice build order. Very nice and crisp. That
Yeah,
dog.
I think Operator could have reacted better to it. Like he saw the Stargate early enough. He just didn't really have his army in position and ready to go. Could
Yeah.
have mitigated the damage a little bit more. Yeah. Gigglesmirk took his advantage and ran with it.
Yeah, for sure. And he just held the lead the entire time, and it was pretty much easy as soon as he got all those probe kills early on.
Tied up. It's exciting.
Yeah, that's insane. 3-3 now.
Getting tense. Woogie
So,
vs Stark, TBT.
oh, here we go. This is going to be a huge matchup here to determine who is going to take a step forward towards the championship. So let's go ahead and jump in it. We'll be casting this game and then going into a break here. So excited for that. I need some water and I need to calm my dog down a little bit.
I can't tell if it's your dog or TB Ham's dog in my
No,
ears. Like, it
this
sounds
time
crazy.
it's mine.
That's what I like about my dog. Like I got a Labrador, and he's just so passive and lazy. And he
Lab,
was.
yeah.
Yeah,
But
funny.
yeah, as soon as anybody walks by the apartment door, the dog flips out. So it's been pretty good lately. But of course, it's finals night. I'm trying to do my best job possible, and that's the night that she's going to freak out and make a lot of noise.
That's funny.
All right, we're on Zelnaga Caverns. We have a TVT, and I'll go ahead and introduce the Blue Terran for Team Confederation. It's going to be Wookie. Is it Wookie or Woogie?
I think it's Woogie.
Woogie. Okay, yeah, that's what I thought.
Woogie. That's what I'm going with. And spawning in the top right hand side, the Terran player from England, also the caster extraordinaire. It is All Inspirations Stark. He was casting earlier this evening. If you were watching the third place match, the
Doing a great
emergency
job with
cast.
TPM.
Yeah.
And that's the thing about Stark, really. If you got to describe Stark with one word, it would be helpful or always
Helpful.
around, which is like two
He
words.
seems
But
he does seem like that guy. He seems like the guy who's just always in your chat who knows heaps about stuff that can just tell you any answer about any race. About
and
the
not
game.
only that, but also, oh, you have questions about holding off oracles? Here, let me throw oracles at you for an hour. And he like absolutely willing to help anybody. He's basically the main coach for Team All Inspiration in terms of practice games and going over replays and helping you out there. So it's worth noting Stark's been a baller for Team All Inspiration and really helpful. Unfortunately, as has kind of been the case during these games, I don't really know too much about Woogie. For all I know, Woogie, he could be the exact same as Stark. So I'm sure he's a baller in his own right.
We're getting some Reaper cheese out of Stark, channeling Canary.
Oh man,
I've played against Canary. I don't like it at all. It's
Canary
kind of destroyed me 2-0 with Reapers. So I wonder if Stark's been practicing that with Canary. As Reapers are very good on this map.
That is definitely probably true. Canary and Stark are kind of like boys on the team. They definitely hang out together a lot and practice their cheeses, and they're really good at it. So we're going to see exactly how these Reapers turn out here. And the thing is, though, same thing, well, not quite the same as, like, let's say with MinimumRage. Stark has shown cheese in the past in the CTL, so Woogie may have scouted that out of him, but he also mixes in standard play, so going to get that SCV building the factory to delay that a little bit and hopefully get this Reaper out of there without taking too much damage. He's pulling all the SCVs off the line, or almost all of them.
He needs to get this factory up. This factory is the key to this. If Woogie can get factory and Hellions, then this cheese is kind of over. But if Stark can deny this factory as long as possible, he can get enough Reapers to kind of snowball this into a victory. It'll completely come down to this factory, I think.
Well, if Stark can get that, if he can get that bunker up, which he's trying to do here, and that'll help against the Hellions. And it looks like that is so many SCVs pulled off the line here, and he's killing many of them.
It's all well and good getting the factory, but if you don't have the income to support building Hellions, then it's not going to go well.
Two more Reapers on the way to follow this up. That SCV is going to have some trouble getting that bunker up. That's really important to get that bunker up. I don't think it's going to happen here. It gets picked off. And
3 Reapers now, so 2 Marines and a Hellion. I really like Woogie's position here. 4, actually. You need to get that Hellion healed up from the SCVs.
Oh, trying to micro his heart out is Stark. He's going to be able to push back that Hellion for now. He is getting it repaired, which is really smart. And a second one on the way out. Those other 2
lining up.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. I don't know if this. I lost another one there.
Yeah, Woogie still has a worker lead. He hasn't lost. He's still got a 2 worker lead, and he's building SCVs. I'm sure. Yeah.
Yeah, this
he's
is not
healing up this Hellion. Second Hellion's almost out now.
And I think that's about it.
Yeah, I think Woogie's held this. Well done. Stark might try and keep building Reapers for another kind of last-ditch attempt. But I think Woogie's got all the tools he needs to defend this now. He's in a good position, a very strong position.
Yeah, I mean, he's getting a starport up. He's continuing to build SCVs where Stark is doing that. Actually, he hasn't built anything. Oh, wait, no, here we go. Yeah, SCV on its way out. It was the Orbital Command was building, I think, that stopped him from doing that. But trying to macro out of this, but it's going to be so hard.
He's not in the best position to macro out of this. And Reapers can get utility. If he can... I actually really like Woogie's building placement. Kind of thing. He's going to force the Reapers into a bad spot. They try and take this head-on fight against Hellions, which is not going to work well.
No, a couple of them going down, and that's the thing. If he was able...
Chase now.
Yep, and he lost another Hellion going down over here, so he only has 2 left, and that's really, like... You can't lose Hellions with this type of opening. You have to be able to pick off a unit and escape. Pick off a unit and escape. The more Hellions you lose, that you're basically sealing your fate here.
More Reapers, you mean? I assume you're saying. Oh. Building a factory and a barracks back at home. I think we've lost...
Yeah, I'm
I
here.
think we lost... Oh, okay.
There might have been a little disconnection there for a second with Skype, but everything up and running.
Woogie has this medevac. He has 4 Hellions and some Marines, so you can go across the map now and do some economical damage, even though he's already ahead on SCVs.
Yeah, he's getting that scan off now. He sees the factory just finishing and the starport just going down. He knows...
Make him feel super confident, I think.
Yeah, exactly. He knows what's going on, and that's exactly when he's going to go ahead and move across. If he can pick up extra Reapers at the same time, that's just bonus. These Reapers are going to try to get something done here in the main of Woogie while Woogie's army is out. The Viking lands.
The Viking...
Actually... Oh! That kiting by that Reaper is pretty good.
It's so good.
I think we should be watching the damage that Woogie's about to do to Stark here, though. Those Reapers... Oh,
he needs to get those Hellions up in the main.
He's using the vision for...
Yeah.
Yeah, this actually is being held pretty nicely by Stark, to be honest.
Here come the Hellions, though. That's where the damage is going to be done.
Mm-hmm.
He has his bunker. Yeah, we can just move and kill the SCVs now. That's the problem.
Yeah. Yeah, a little bit unfortunate for Stark here, as Woogie definitely knew how to react to this Reaper opening. The Reapers back in Woogie's base have been pushed away by that Viking, and all the SCVs going down for Stark now. Those Hellions getting
lots of red ones as well. Only a few more shots, and it's going to really snowball.
Oh yeah.
Well held by Woogie. He's got a massive lead now. Only 7 workers for Stark. Excuse me. Throat is dying. Woogie taking his command center, and really he can just sit back and defend. I think he's got a massive lead now. He can build any non-zero amount of units to win, I think. It's a long way back for Stark. I don't think Stark will leave, though, because these games are super important, and he doesn't really want to give up.
Yeah, exactly. And there's nothing against going for this type of cheese play, especially like knowing Stark personally. I know he practices this opening quite a bit. As these Hellions are swooping in here, getting more SCV kills. But it was just more of a fact of Woogie just really knowing what to do to defend it, and microed his heart out and was able to survive until he got the Hellions. And that's all it really took. It's just when things actually looked kind of bad for him for a minute or two while Stark was killing all these SCVs. But all you got to do is just be patient and get those Hellions out, and now he's got a tank sieged up outside of the main on Zelnaga Cavern's really obnoxious spot here. And Stark, I mean, what can you do?
Not much, unfortunately.
No.
Not much. He's getting Cloak Banshees to try and salvage something, but I mean, Woogie doesn't have any scans at the moment. He does have a Viking, though. The Banshee is out, so
Stark has to be really careful with that Banshee until Cloak comes out.
There's 2 Vikings here. I would hope Woogie's just banking up scans. He's getting a Raven as well, so don't think this Banshee's going to bring him back. But I can't blame him for trying. A couple of idle SCVs off in the middle of nowhere from Woogie as well. It's kind of funny. There's 3 tanks here.
Yeah, and he's just going to siege up again.
Yeah.
Oh, he's
sacrificing this. Yeah.
Yeah, nice job there. I actually like that. He wasted the scan just on the Widowmine, which maybe wasn't that technically effective of a play, but the Raven is on the way, so he won't need it soon enough.
halfway across. Oh, that's another tank.
Where's
Banshee gonna
Raven?
do some work. I don't think it can kill stuff fast enough though. Oh, there's another scan. Needs to focus that Banshee.
Oh, that
Micro's
Banshee
that
goes down. That's the
that will
GG.
be
Yep.
GG. GG. Well held
Well,
from Woogie. Well held. Very impressive. That was
and
very
this,
dicey for a second there because this is that the build. It just comes down to that factory time. Like if he can get the factory, if Stark can stop the factory from building, then the Reapers are just gonna have a field day.
yeah, for sure. And wow, what a comeback here by Confederation. AllIn takes the first 3 games, but then Confederation wins 4 in a row to take a 4-3 lead on the series. We only have 2 sets left to cast. One of them set 8, and then the final one's going to be the ace match. So if AllIn actually wins the next match, oh man, we're in for an epic series for sure. I really hope that's the case.
Yeah, so do I.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting as hell. But why don't we go ahead and take that break we were talking about earlier? Get some water and just kind of calm our throats for a couple minutes anyway while we get ready for the next couple games, and we'll be back to you very shortly. All right, we're back. Thanks very much for being patient, guys, while we took a break and just sort of discussed some things. I actually am just learning now for the first time that set number 8 is actually a walkover in favor of Team All Inspiration. So,
He screwed up the overlay. It's nasty.
okay.
Yeah, that's funny. It is
What's-
J-Ro that did get the walkover, so it is
Yeah.
tied up 4-all. And
Yeah,
that
which is
is
insane. I mean, that means that this ace match that we're going to be casting right now is going to it's going to decide who wins the championship. So you can't really get much more hype than that. It would have been cool if we actually had a set 8 to cast and if J-Ro would have maybe won to make that happen, but the world can't be
either way.
perfect, I guess.
We're
We still
here.
Yep. We're here. We're on time and we're going to cast a TVP between two of the best probably two of the best diamond players in
Yeah.
all of CTL.
Definitely in the top five. Like, if you were to list like 4 or 5 diamond players who are the top of the top in CTL, these two are probably the first two that get listed off
Yeah.
for
I mean,
sure.
there's some other guys who are really good to be sure, but
Yeah,
I mean,
easy.
Lando, the Diamond Korea, he plays on the Korean servers, and he's Diamond now.
Yeah. He's in an academy team on the C
Yep.
server, so like he's in a legitimate team. Like it's not like
Hmm.
All Inspiration. I think is just his second thing that he plays
Yeah.
with some friends and to have play more StarCraft because he just loves the game. But yeah, I've played against him once in like like a weekly cup thing, and it wasn't pretty. It was the biggest one-sided affair you'll ever see in Lando's favor. It was
Sweet.
wreck. Very good player.
Well, I'm ready to get started as soon as everyone else is here. We're going to start loading this up. And me personally, I don't have the stream up, so I can't see what the stats are that TB Ham is showing you guys. So it'd be really nice if Couchy, you have it up, right? Can you tell
Yeah,
me
I've
what
got
the...
it. Yeah,
All right.
Sirent's like his PVT is like 59%, and Lando's TVP is only 47.
Yeah,
And
see,
so
oh,
far in the season, Sirent's 7-2, and Lando's 5-4.
mhm. Lando had a really good season 7, but in season 8, he kind of got solved a little bit. He lost his first couple matches, but anyway, while I'm talking about Mr. Lando, let's go ahead and introduce him. The pink Terran in the top right corner of Daybreak. It is Mr. Lando for Team All Inspiration.
And in the bottom right, from Confederation, their ace player in the green, it is Sirent. Sirent, very good Protoss. I scouted out his PvP a couple of weeks ago when we were playing him, and my God, it was good. Like, it was stupidly good. I don't think there's a Protoss in the CTL that could have beat him. Not that that's relevant for this PvT, but
Right.
he was a very impressive. Like, this is going to be a very high quality match, I think.
I think so. With that being said, though, the TVP for Mr. Lando is something I don't know too much about. I do know
Mm.
his TVZ is really, really good, and
Yeah,
his
I know he's.
TVT is stellar also. But
Yeah, I
I
haven't seen him
kind
play
of
TvP.
me neither, really. So this is going to be a first for me. One thing is, I do know that it's not his favorite matchup, so um, we'll have to see what he did and how much practice he really got this week to turn that around. As this game gets up and going with a gas first for Mr. Lando. So interesting right off the bat.
So jump straight into that factory tech. He could have actually one of his teammates on his academy, Enac from New Zealand, also a very good Protoss player. He could have been practicing with him, and Enac has some pretty solid PvT and more macro style as well. So he has probably a plethora of Protoss players to practice with who are very
Mhm.
high quality, and he plays a lot. As you said, he plays on the Korean server, so you know he's getting some high quality ladder games in.
Yeah, for sure. And he's always really helpful in team chat as well. So not just a good player, but also a good person. As far as okay, so when we casted week 7, I was calling him Siren TT the whole time. So it's Sirent.
Sirent? Sirent. Yeah, I would have
Sirent.
said Sirent.
Okay.
Sirent or Sirent? Sirent? I don't know.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm just learning
I
now
don't
that I
know.
said his name incorrectly the first time. But he was really good playing against Stark, and we got to see some very quality games out of both players that time
Oh, so
too.
he
So
played Stark when you guys played last time.
yes,
Right.
in week
How did
7.
that go? Who won that game?
Okay, so I don't want to spend too much time talking about that series, but it's one of the craziest series I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I actually would probably I think it's probably better for me to not tell you who won it and to get you to go watch it on your own. That's how good it was. But it was close, and it was very, very entertaining. So hopefully we
go.
still have an archive of that, and I'll direct you to it after if we do. If not, I'll just tell you then. But yeah, it was really good.
Super fast factory for Lando. He's going to switch it off probably to get Hellions, I think. Maybe Widow Mines, but I would think Hellions.
Yeah, Hellions are still good in TVP for sure, especially if they can get by the army and get into the probe line. So we'll see if that's what he's going to be doing here. Yeah, 2 Hellions on the way, followed up by a tech lab on that barracks. And he hasn't gotten that starport down, or is that what that SCV is doing? Nope. Going to go for an expansion, so...
Command center. I wonder if this tech lab's for like a quick stim or if it's like for quick marauders or like combat shield. I don't know. This is a new build and getting Widow Mines behind it as well.
Yeah, we're definitely going to find out for sure. Getting a Marine out of there, so I'm guessing most likely going to be for stim, maybe?
Well, he's got the gas now for that upgrade. Stim.
Now
There you go.
The Stalker coming in to do a little bit of harassing. Luckily, these Widow Mines will be out pretty soon, though, and I don't think that it's going to be able to get too much damage done.
Might lose an SCV. Loses an SCV there. It's probably going to be the extent of the damage. The
Hellions are in the main, though. Getting a couple shots. This Mothership Core is going to be key in defending this, but if they can get a couple key shots here, it doesn't look like that's going to happen. He's trying, though, and he does spot the Stargate, so whether or not he gets too many kills, the scouting is going to be pretty worth it. And he managed to grab 3 probes with that last shot from that Hellion, so...
Those SCVs were off the line for quite a while, though, trying to push that Stalker back. Which they didn't. The Stalker is still alive.
Nice.
I like Siren's opening here. Lando's getting Widow Mines, which will defend well against an Oracle, but if Siren goes up to 2 or 3 Oracles, and if he's super careful, he can fight those Oracles using the Revelation or Envision, one of the two. Whichever spell it is that makes the Oracle see invisible stuff. I can never remember what it's called.
Yeah, me neither, to be honest. I think it's it's Envision, so...
Envision, there you go. Revelation is the one that tags the army, I think, but yeah. Widow Mines, they are good at deflecting Oracles because they do kill him in one shot, but their Oracles are so fast, and if the Protoss is on top of his control, he can
I think he's going to get caught, though. That Widow Mine is really well hidden. Yeah, right behind that. Yeah, right behind that refinery. Nicely done by Lando there. So very minimal losses. A Stalker gets taken out as well.
Baited into that second Widow Mine. That was very clever from Mr. Lando. I like this play out of him.
Yeah.
He's repositioning the Widow Mines now as well. They're putting him somewhere else, so he's actually going to go across the map with them by the looks.
Well, it's going to be pretty well timed with Stim here. If that's what this whole thing was about, he's going to hit with a handful of Marines and a couple Widow Mines. Although it doesn't seem too powerful right now. I think he needs a little bit more to do anything. And a second Oracle coming out.
Yes, and turret coming down in the mineral line of Lando. It's going to be nice and safe now. Not relying on those Widow Mines to defend, which allows him to take him across the map. But this is going to be spotted by the random sentry. That's going to die. That's not ideal for Siren. The sentry trying to run away from these Widow Mines.
He's trying to block it off, Zergling style, I think. Oh, that sentry is so dead.
Yeah.
Bam.
It just hurts so much.
Oh, nice
overcharge. Oh, Oracles.
Well, it used. Yeah, it used its. I think
energy.
It used Envision.
Yeah. No, it didn't enable Envision yet. Envision it lasts for like a minute.
Oh, okay. And that second, so there's lots of Oracles here, and the thing is, Lando kind of has what he needs. It requires a little bit of micro in order to be used properly. A nice army placement, but he is getting a nice scout off here. This Oracle's not going to be able to do too much here in the main with that turret going down, so Lando pretty well set up there, but he is going to have to take his whole army back home here.
Very unconventional TVP so far from Lando. He's got a random assortment of Widow Mines, a random assortment of Marines and Hellions. He's defending these Oracles well. He's getting a Viking and a Hellion, which is nice to kind of push this Oracle away, try and mitigate the damage a little bit.
Yeah, Viking comes out, takes out that Oracle.
He's only lost 3 workers this entire time. So I think he's taken the better ends of this opening so far. The Siren's lost 2 Oracles. I think he still has a third. Yeah, still has a third back at home.
There's one moving across the right side of the map as
well.
well.
He's got 4. Bloody hell. He got 4 Oracles.
Yeah, which is probably not the most efficient for him. He hasn't been able to get too much damage done with these oracles, as we've already said. The way the turret is placed in the natural is a little bit easier for Siren. I almost called him Siren TT again. For
So,
Siren to get a couple SCV kills here.
yeah, you can
But in
get
the
that
meantime,
gas geyser, the SCVs on the gas geyser, pretty easily.
yeah. But there are a couple Marines here. They're going to try to shoo him away, although they'll go down pretty quickly. But Lando's getting ready to put an attack on the natural here, which is pretty well defended as well by Siren. So both guys uh, playing very good defense so far, I think.
There's enough for an overcharge. There's a cannon, there's an oracle, and he has stim, but he's
Oh,
actually well positioned here. I like that he's put the Widow Mines just outside the range of the overcharge.
yeah.
He's microing back. He's trying to force a fight, trying to force the army of Sirent back into this Widow Mine, but it's well controlled by Sirent not to do that.
There's a Viking just like inches away from this Oracle will be able to pick it off here if it was paying a little bit better attention. I don't know. This game has been pretty tense so far. I think, like you said, Siren a little bit behind in terms of the way the openings went, but he's got a solid worker lead here, and even with mules, he's managing to maintain an income lead. So it's really going to be about who's ready to take a third base faster. And I think if Lando can take out this Oracle over here, then he'll be able to set himself up for that a little bit sooner.
Siren's going for a very, very fast storm. He's skipping out on on Colossus. He's going for a warp prison as well, so it could be for some storm drops, which is always nice. Has enough for an
Yes.
overcharge, probably needs to get on that as well. But storm is complete now. You have enough. He has enough energy for storm as well, so that's gonna. Those Widow Mines do so much damage to the Protoss. It just wipes all those shields.
It was better than an EMP there. It took off like all the shields on almost every unit there and did some actual hit point damage as well. So
Yeah,
yeah, I
I think
actually remember Siren going for the really quick storm against Stark as well, and it was something that really kept him in a specific game that happened. So
you don't
nice.
really see it too often anymore, like because Widow Mines are just so strong against storm openings in general. You're not often that you see them
This
in
Viking
play.
over here, frustratingly close to that Oracle. It's just like, oh my god, why will you not shoot it? Second Oracle going across the map here. I think Lando might have spotted it with that army here, and it's still not going to be able to get too much work done with the turret in place. But after spotting it, Lando's going to, I don't know, he's kind of moving back and forth here. Not sure exactly what he wants to do.
It's a warp prison moving across towards the would-be third of Lando's. It does have a High Templar in there, ready for storm. And he's warping in a few Zealots as well, looking to harass the natural of Lando.
Is that a good time too? Because Lando's moving across the map here. He's going to try to put some pressure on his third base, and to be honest, he can probably get a cancel on it. But it's not really going to matter too much if this Viking showing up at a key time going to shoo this Oracle away, and maybe
He gets
even
the warp prism as well.
if he can kill that
knows the
warp
warp
prism.
prisms there. They're so fast though; they can get away.
No, and Lando's not really reacting quickly enough. That Storm is going to go down on the SCVs. Wow, 4 SCVs going down already, and there's Zealots just ravaging everything. 8 workers going down total, and Lando's kind of in no man's land over here, just sort of in the middle of the map, and he's tagged as well, so Siren knows exactly what's going on. These Zealots are wreaking havoc in the natural. Lando finally moving into the third base here, but there's Storms here as well.
He needs ghosts, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
His army control is very good. He's splitting up his army well to try and mitigate the storms as much as possible. And probably to mitigate the friendly fire damage from the Widow Mines. He is in a good spot though. He's going to try and hammer down this third. Sirent needs to defend this. I don't think he can afford to lose it. As Lando's finally going to force a fight with these Widow Mines. As they do go off on the Zealots, wiping
Here
all their
comes the
shields.
Storms.
Good storm.
Oh, man, he did a good job sort of staying out of range of the storms here, but finally Siren goes in with the High Templar and lands a money storm there.
Really well held there by Siren. He kind of waited to the last possible moment to defend his third.
There's a pretty big bioforce here for Lando, though. Like that, in terms of army supply, Lando's keeping right up with Siren, but he needs to get something going now because if the longer he lets Siren sit back here with High Templar, Robo Bays are coming out now as well, or Robo Facility, sorry, with Blink and everything. We're in another situation where the longer you let that Protoss just macro up, the harder it is to win the game yourself.
I like that he's getting 2 Robo Facilities so he can go double Colossus production. Massive fan of that.
Yeah, and Lando's not pumping out Vikings. Usually he's pretty good about getting those Vikings out, but he has really no need to right now because he doesn't know about the Colossi coming up here. But Lando
Massive
moving
drop.
in with it. Yeah, this is a doom drop for the Aegis. There's only one High Templar here, which will probably be able to take out one of these medevacs, but
Two
I don't know.
cannons. How many? He's got so many gateways. It's ridiculous.
Here comes the
Does
drop,
get
though.
does get one medevac before it even unloads, and a storm goes down mostly on Raw. There was a Viking in that medevac. That's
What?
so cool. Yeah, there's a
Oh,
landed
man.
Viking in there.
Oh,
Does
he
kill
picks
the
off
Nexus. Yeah,
And he could
puts a
probably
Widow Mine
lift
down.
that. He's going to leave
He
some
gets out.
bio forces.
Maybe.
Oh, that was
Feedbacks.
close.
Yeah, I think
Kills
it was
the
an okay. It was an okay trade there. I think it would have been great if we could get the High Templar, but he got the Nexus, got a few probe kills. Didn't get any
Still-
of the attack though. Still
Yeah,
behind.
he's
Fly.
still only on 2 bases. He obviously has no intention. Again, right when I say that, he drops a third because he realizes like he needs to at least get a third base because he's almost mined out
It's
in the
just so
main.
late though. It's almost probably better for him just to lift his main off and go to a new base with it.
Probably some bio forces getting caught out in the middle of the map. You're getting trapped by these zealots. Storm going down on 2 Marines. It's going to be enough to take him out. And Siren putting himself in a pretty good spot here. He's got the Colossi production. He's got like minimal losses. He did lose the Nexus. Oh, another drop actually, by the way, back in the main, trying to do some more damage. Taking
Storm
some
comes down.
Oh,
It was
those-
mostly on Marauders though. Medivacs are super low now though. They can be picked off so quickly by these stalkers. You can try and live, but this is not getting out.
No, it would have been
Big
good if he
supply
was.
deficit.
Yeah, and the thing is, this Nexus here too. Like, there's not too many minerals left here, so wouldn't have even been that big of a deal, even if you got a cancel off on it. Trying to make something happen at the third now. The bio is here. Those Widow Mines need to burrow if they want to do anything. Lots of zealots here, and I think that's way too much for Lander to take care of. Oh, getting sandwiched here by the High
And the
Templar.
feedbacks and the blink. Oh, does that Medivac get away? Just gets away.
Wow, things
Please.
are not looking too good for Lando, though. Siren really having an answer for everything Lando's trying to do.
He's hunting these Medivacs now.
At least he's able to unload them. Probably get an
Yeah.
Oracle for it, but there's a GG.